Hello. All right. So, hello. Good day. I'm having quite a I'm having quite a cold today, but I'll still proceed as usual. Today I won't be a story or a poem. Today I will be talking about road safety. Road safety for kids, young adults, toddlers, and this is the first rule of road safety, according to me. And the first rule is ask your parents what to do. That's the first rule. Ask your parents. When I was a small boy growing up in Trelawney, Jamaica, our teachers taught us to look up and down the road. And this wasn't something that they were just telling us. This was what was in the textbooks. That's when we were in first grade, and so it was a basic typo, but we generally knew that as fact. Look up and down the road. Now most of us knew up and down the road to be like literally up the hill or down the hill, however, right? But literally up and down could mean up, you look left and right. No, that could be assuming that we haven't understand the terms left and right when we were that young. So I won't say I would get to see why they would think using the terms up and down would be good. So the first rule in crossing the street, which is part of road safety, is looking left, then right, then left again before crossing, or even right, comfortable to cross the street. Don't let anyone force you to cross. Don't follow blindly behind someone, for example, your friend. So your friend just run out in the road and you say, oh, your friend's crossing. No, it's a good time to cross. No. You cross when you have looked left and then right and then left again. And if you don't feel comfortable crossing, you still wait until you feel comfortable. This is another thing that can help you when crossing the street. If you hear a horn coming up the road, which is left, or down the road, which is right, um, don't cross. Guys, you can't judge the distance. That's the second tip. Now, the third tip is don't walk on the street in the night because you're not visible in the night. But if you must walk on the road in the night, you should be wearing bright colors at night, for example. White. White is a good color to wear at night because the car light will reflect on white. Yellow is also a good color to wear. White and yellow reflectors of light. You can also wear other light colors that will show like bright green, very, very bright green. But the problem with green, it might look like vegetation, might look like plants. Very bad colors to wear are black, dark blue, dark red, all those dark colors, right? Because the cars won't see you as well. So when walking at night, wear bright colors such as white and yellow. Rule number 4, always cross at the on the pedestrian crossing, not at the pedestrian crossing. You may think that walking beside the pedestrian crossing is right, but it is not. You need to walk directly on the pedestrian crossing. So you must walk between the two white lines and on the grid, not beside either side of the white lines. You must walk between the white lines. Next, if you're crossing at the school crossing, you must make sure that the guide is crossing you. So they will hold up the sign. And how they do it, they raise their hands. Even when you're crossing the road, you should also raise your hands. And the vehicles should stop. No, the vehicles should stop doesn't mean that they don't always stop. So what I would recommend that you have an eye on the vehicle. So you're crossing, so that the vehicle acknowledge you. Sometimes they show you a light that is a go ahead, and you may continue to cross. So you cross then. To your right stops and you want to proceed, but the cars on you coming from your left haven't stopped. It is okay to stop where you are on the pedestrian cross because you don't want to walk out into the oncoming traffic. Don't assume that because you're on the pedestrian crossing that the cars won't drive pedestrian crossing, because sometimes the driver might not be aware that you're on the crossing, especially if you're a small child, but they should, but they may not. The car may have problems. So you have to think about stuff like that as well. The next tip that I would find like crossing in towns, which can be very tricky, is that when you're crossing in a town, is a lot of the basics. So it's the same basic things, looking left and right. However, you also have to use stoplights. So generally, you wait until the light, either to your left or right, turns red. Now, when the stoplight turns red, it means the cars should stop. When the light is red, it is your signal to go. However, the cars coming, say the stoplight is on our left. The cars that are already past, they would have stopped. I can't just cross because the light is on red. What you have to do is wait until the traffic is backed up and all the cars before you have stopped. Now, at this point, what you need to do is simply cross behind the vehicle. And when you say the stoplight is at the left and you're crossing, you still have some vehicles coming from the left because they're to possibly stop on the first side of the road, on that side of the road before proceeding. Normally, when you reach in the middle of the road and you always look at the oncoming driver. So you would look left where they're still seeing green, but they will indicate to you if it's okay to cross, or they will slow down to a halt. They stop. It can be very tricky. Not all. Next tip is always follow the signs where practical. So if there's a walk sign, you can use the walk sign on the stoplight. So it's indicated by a white light, and you will see the man on the same stoplight that the cars use, and it says walk. And usually when this happens, there are cross wardens there to help children across, or officers, police officers. And it's always okay if you are a child to ask a police officer to help you cross the street, or a teacher, or a fireman, any government worker. So your teacher, the police, the fire station to help you cross the road. If the road is a very wide road, don't try to sprint across the road. You're not faster than a car. You're That's a very huge risk that you shouldn't be taking. So find a narrower part of the road, or where we live, there are overhead bridges that people don't use. So the overhead bridge is a bridge that goes over the road, over a wide stretch of highway. This will make crossing a lot safer. So let me see what other road safety tips are there. Yeah, so bike or bicycle. The size, bright clothing, white, yellow. If the motorcycle or the bicycle it has reflectors, proper lights. You shouldn't be riding at night without like having the lamp, the light on the bike or bicycle. They should have proper reflectors, and you should have horns, as well as the bright clothing, and come off the road as soon as possible. And those are the road safety tips that I have to share for today.